Hey guys, I'm coming at you with another VCore update. It's been a bit because I didn't do an update last week. And apologies too if I'm sniffling throughout this video. I have yet to take my allergy medications today. So, with the VCore deck, what I did since last time, I changed the idler belt. That did not change anything. It indeed was a servo problem. And I believe I found the servo problem. So here's the servo board here. So these ICs, basically what these are a part of, it's called a, and I apologize if I am forgetting this, monostable multi-vibrator. Basically, if see, I'm very much still a novice, all things considered, with the electronics and stuff, because I just had to learn about this, read up on it last night. But basically, an input signal comes in, it triggers the multi-vibrator to put out a certain voltage for a set amount of time, and it'll keep doing that. Depending on how long the triggering goes for. That's kind of the basic idea, and he uses that for the reference for the capstan servo to keep it to actually have a reference to something. Yeah, I know that's kind of redundant, right? Because without that, if I push play, you'll see what it does. And keep in mind, this is on long play too. Yeah, it just takes off. And generally, what that means, it means that there's a loss of the reference signal. So you probably also notice that this is unsoldered, is because I suspected this to be the component that went bad. Whenever I tapped in this area, the speed would change greatly, and whenever I would, let me get the flash going. Whenever I would wiggle the components, that would also get the speed to, slow down. Well, I desoldered it. This is what was left of it. You can't tell because my stupid camera will focus. But what happened was that these two pins fell out. There was a crack on the IC itself that I had noticed, but I didn't realize just how severe it was until I was desoldering and pulling the chip out. So this indeed did get severed, and thus that would explain why I got this. And without that chip in there, of course, it's still gonna keep going fast no matter what. So before I can do anything else, I need to find an equivalent replacement for this. Now, I looked online. There doesn't seem to be any I can't find any data on this chip. So, but not all hope is lost, because I put this on the tester, and hopefully it takes a little bit in testing this, because with the monostable multi-vibrator circuits, they really just need your semiconductors too. So I figured, well, is this just a semiconductor that they put in a package or whatever? And indeed it is. It's just two diodes joined at a common point, and that's kind of it. Whenever I notice whenever I test this, the result here, that last one changes a bit, but the first result doesn't change. So I take this to mean that if I find two diodes with these parameters, when tied together, give me the same parameters, and if I put them back into the board, theoretically that should restore this to normal operation. And yeah, it shuts off after a bit. But that's where I'm at now. I can't do anything else on this until I can figure out how to get the chip, the IC there, how I can kind of construct one from two diodes and try and restore operation to the circuit. But what is also kind of odd is that before, I don't know if I caused because the crack was always there, and I'm just thinking out loud here, like obviously this is unscripted, and I'm just saying what comes to mind to try and bring you guys up to date. So I should add, and I did take videos for my own reference on this, so I can just attach those to the video here. But what I first noticed is if I stuck my finger like here, obviously without the that multi-vibrator there, it's not going to do anything because the multi-vibrator isn't making the reference signal. But if I put my finger like around here, I was able to get the video here. I was able to get the caption to run at speed. Generally that so I don't know if I was bridging something, if it was a capacitance thing or what, but I was I was like, am I doing anything? But no, without that chip, it's not going to do anything. So that was like the thing I noticed that made me point to this area. And then it was a matter of like just tapping the board that led me to realize that if I wiggle this chip ever so slightly, the speed, it would slow down. It wouldn't go to normal. So I don't know if that was because if that was still because of the crack, or if there really is another component on this that's gone bad. But there we go. I want to keep these pins for reference at least. So, yeah, I wish I had better news, but this is going to have to take some ingenuity on my part to try and make a modern day version of this chip. I could also pull out one because this one does use the monostable multi-vibrator setup for other points here. Like these two are the same chip, as well as that one there in the time-based signal generator. So I could pull those out and test those, like to compare what the side that went bad is. Because I am testing the side that had the. Because to show you what this looks like. Yeah, so it clearly is just some kind of two separate semiconductors joined that they put together to make it for whatever manufacturing reason, make it convenient for them. But if it were just two transistors, though, you would imagine that they would just stick them, together on the board without having to do this. But the fact that he did this does seem to indicate that it is just two diodes with this common, with the middle pin being the common between them. So to recap, no pun intended, I need to, assuming that both are actually identical, using this as my reference, I'm going to have to see if I can make a new one of these, basically, to try and get the circuit up and running. Obviously, it would be easy. In a world where V-Core decks were like CED players, where they are just common when you go on eBay, I would definitely prefer to order a parts unit, get it here, and extract one of these off of the parts unit. That's not going to happen with something like V-Core. So I do have to go about the modification, and just getting parts for these, I mean, I can't think really, who would just have like a parts unit that they would be willing to desolder parts from and send them to me. So that's why I'm gonna have to go about this, trying to construct a new one of these from 2 diodes. And that's assuming that I can still use this half too. That might be awkward. I might just have to go and make a whole new thing using 4 diodes. So that's that. The servo, I can't do anything else on here for the time being, until I can start to construct ideas for this replacement. But going on to slightly better news, while I was, far and about with the servo stuff, I figured maybe I can also troubleshoot the color circuit too, because this is obviously, if you're recording this in long play, and the long play decks were also color capable, you're definitely going to record this in color, no question about it. So assuming that, I decide to use the old finger trick, just run my finger across the board here, and see if there was a difference, if I can get a difference in the picture, that is, if I can get the color to appear. I found that if I stick my finger here, see? So if I stick my finger here on, I believe that is a capacitor there, the color is restored. So I at least solved the color issue. I just have to look at what component that is, and I can basically just replace it. But it's kind of a moot point to replace it now, given that it's going at the wrong speed. So I figured I should save the color part for the end of the service here. So that really is everything that I have to say on this for now. I really wish I had better news, but sadly this is just how this goes sometimes. But again, now all hope is lost. This does seem like something I could construct, given this half as the reference point, as like a reference. I should be able to construct another half, the other half. So hopefully that does work out. And if it does, I'm going to be, first and foremost, I'm going to be really impressed with myself, because I have not done anything like that before. In just as far as constructing a new IC packet. So that would be a milestone for me. But that's all. We're just gonna see how that goes. Because so for the time being, I might move on to other projects. You see, I got quite a bit here. I won't bother with the stories behind those. But I am that general VHD player. I'm really hankering to get that up and running, because I have never seen that model before. And the 400 CED player there that has a motor issue, and because I misplaced my ratchet set, I can't undo the turntable screw, so I can't get underneath the board. I'm sorry, underneath the player to get to the circuit board. So, and with the workshop in less than a week, I'm gonna have to order a new set, pronto, so that I can actually open these for when the time comes at the workshop. But I've gone too far. I've already said what I have to do. So, thank you. Wish I had better news, but this is part of the process sometimes. And I will see you later. Have a happy Father's Day.